While some bright spots have emerged in the Middle East, religious persecution worldwide is growing and becoming more deadly. As Jennifer Wishon reports from Washington, a diverse international coalition is resolved to do everything in their power to stop it.
Here in the nation's capital, there are few issues that unite both ends of the political spectrum. One is the life-changing work of ending religious persecution around the globe.
Billions live where their ability to worship is restricted or forbidden, from genocide in China to Nigeria, where church bombings are all too routine.
If you don't have religious freedom around the world for everybody, every time, all the time, and governments enforce that, you are going to have the clash of civilizations.
Each year, Washington becomes the focal point for work toward a world where all people can worship without fear. Victim stories are heartbreaking.
My name is Yuhan. I came from China, Beijing.
Yuhan's father was killed for practicing Falun Gong. When her family finally got access to his body, they were shocked.
The incision stretched from his throat all the way down to his abdomen. And when they pressed his abdomen, they found that the incision, his abdomen was stuffed with hard ice. And my father's organ had been harvested while he was still alive. I couldn't imagine what he had suffered before he died.
There's too many stories that are never been told and no one know about them. There's so many people are suffering.
Persecution survivor Maryam Ibrahim recounts her story in the new book Shackled, one woman's dramatic triumph over persecution, gender abuse, and a death sentence. Ibrahim says she felt led to share God's will.
Because the only thing I did, I accept that will, and I continue trusting God during the trial, imprisonment, and knowing that I count my days before I get executed, knowing that I'll never be able to see my children again. And now, coming out of that situation, every day I wake up with a miracle in my life, being able to get my children ready for the school, to prepare their lunch, and to do what I do today is all His work.
U.S. law requires the Commission on International Religious Freedom to maintain a list of prisoners of conscience around the world.
The most important thing is to put a human face on the tragedy.
Rabbi Cooper says hateful anti-Semitism taught in parts of the Middle East has been exported to the West via social media. He points to recent efforts by Ben & Jerry's Ice Cream, based in Vermont, to boycott the Jewish state of Israel.
These are people more at home with Hamas than with American values.
And while the summit is focused on persecution abroad, victims urge Americans to guard their freedoms.
Liberty is taken away incrementally. It's not all at once. In most cases, it's not overnight.
They say America must remain a beacon for the world.
They look to our principles to say, well, here's a country that's getting it right when it comes to freedom. That's something that we can't lose hold of.
Rabbi Cooper says there's a sleeping giant in America that could change millions of lives.
If you can get every church in the U.S. to adopt one church in Nigeria, just one church, church to church, people to people, things will change there very quickly. Because if we wait for governments to figure this out, we're just going to keep reading over and over again about the body count of the faithful going up.
And now the work continues to change policies that are hurting so many. Jennifer Wishon, CBN News, Washington.
Alpha.